Everyone. I wanted to talk about the length of a linked list problem. So, okay, so let's talk about how this problem looks. In linked list problems, a lot of times you're given stuff like how a linked list is already defined, so you don't have to make it, and then you're just going to modify the class. So you'll recognize this as the node class from our other videos and linked list. Now, in this problem, we've added a tail, and that's just to make it easier to append things so that you don't get to see the pattern for how to calculate the length of a linked list. You're going to reuse this pattern a bunch of different times. So take a look at this pattern anytime you need to go over a linked list and do something to the end of it or to each element. The first thing we want to do is define a current node, and that's going to be self.head. Always start with the head node so that you can traverse all of the nodes, right? And then we need a counter. Counter is 0. And then all we really will do is we'll start, counter at 1 because we'll assume that there is a head, right? We could, add an if statement if self.head counter equals 1, else counter equals 0, or return 0. Right? Because if we don't have a head, then we don't have anything. So that's possible. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say while current node dot next is not equal to none. Right? None as in like the literal empty value none. So while current node is not none, then what we'll do is we'll say counter plus equals 1, and then current node dot equals current node dot next. What that'll allow us to do is just as soon as we hit the end, the counter will stop counting and the current node will stop getting reassigned. So that's just kind of how we go step by step. And then if we just return counter, then that should solve our problem. Ta-da! So this method, this pattern is really, really common anytime you're dealing with looping over a linked list. So if you're going to do something like reverse a linked list, you're likely going to be using a while loop to ask if the current node.next is none, and if it isn't, updating the current node and maybe doing something along with it. So take this pattern and adapt it to use later. Thanks.